Hi, everybody. Welcome back. And for today's class, let's go ahead and get started on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana or recline bound angle. You'll place the soles of your feet together and let your knees come apart. Your arms can rest anywhere that feels comfortable for you here. Now, I have two blocks underneath my thighs, one underneath each thigh, because sometimes this position can feel uncomfortable for my hips, especially when I'm not warm yet. So it's just nice to have something to support your legs. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can always use rolled up towels or rolled up blankets. You can even use pillows underneath your thighs as well. And I have a blanket underneath my head with a small roll at the end to support my neck, my cervical spine. But you can always use a pillow underneath your head for support. And start to come into your breathing, taking deep breaths in and out through your nose, and take deep belly breaths. So feel that breath go all the way down into the very pit of your belly, maybe even towards your pelvis. And as you exhale, completely draw your navel to your spine. Today we will work on our hips and inner thighs, and we'll warm them up for Yogi Squat Malasana. Now, Yogi Squat is not an advanced posture by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a very important pose because it's simple, but it's very telling about the range of motion and amount of flexibility that you have in your hips and your inner thighs. And I always joke in my classes that yogi squat is an important pose because if you were to ever live in a third world country or you were to get stuck in a forest or the desert, then yogi squat would be very a functional pose that you would need in your arsenal. So just continue to breathe. We'll be here for a few more breaths. And if at any point in time you want to remove the props, maybe you feel ready after taking a few breaths, you are more than welcome to do so. Now, I went ahead and removed the blocks from my thighs, but if you would like to still keep your props, you are more than welcome to do so. Go ahead and place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. And as you take your next breath in, breathe all the way into your belly and up into your chest. And then as you exhale, let your chest fall, let your belly empty out last. Just take a couple more breaths just like this. Inhale, belly, chest. Exhale, chest, belly. Go ahead and release your hands and draw your legs together using your hands if you need to. Remove any prop that you had underneath your head and your neck and just push that off to the side. Draw your knees into your chest, and as you give yourself a hug, just gently rock from left to right, massaging your lower back down and your hips into the mat. Still holding onto your right leg, let your left leg go long to the front of your mat with your left foot flexed, toes pointing up. And start to circle your right ankle one direction and then the other direction. Release your left hand by your side and use your right hand to start to make circles with your right knee, just going one direction, big or small. And then going the opposite direction, just lubricating through the hip joint. And then take your right knee out to the side about 3 to 5 inches and use your arms to just gently draw your knee up towards your armpit. Now, you can stay here as option one, or you can grab hold of the pinky edge of your right foot for half happy baby. If you need to bend your left knee with your left foot on the floor, you are more than welcome to do so. Otherwise, keep your left leg straight with your left foot flexed and pointing up towards the sky. Wherever you are, breathe into your right inner thigh. And then let go of your foot if you had it. Draw your right knee back into your chest. And then let your right leg go long to the front of your mat. Draw your left knee into your chest and circle your left ankle one direction. And then the other direction. Right foot is flexed and active. Release your right hand to the floor. Use your left hand to start to move your left knee in a circular motion, big or small. Going one direction and then going the opposite direction. And take your left knee out to the side, about 3 to 5 inches, and use your arms to just gently pull it up towards your armpit. You can stay here, or you can grab the pinky edge of your left foot and let your left foot point up towards the sky with your left knee bent for half happy baby. Right knee can be bent with your right foot on the floor, or right leg can be straight, no matter which variation you have. Keep your right foot flexed. Breathe into your left inner thigh. Go ahead and release your left foot if you had it. Draw your left knee into your chest. Inhale. And then as you exhale, extend your left leg forward. And draw both knees into your chest. Give yourself another hug. And either roll to one side or the other, or just gently rock up to a seat. And we will make our way to tabletop pose, hands and knees. Feel free to use your blanket that you had underneath your head and place that on your mat to support your knees for padding. And then we will come actually into child's pose. So take your big toes to touch, knees out wide. Send your hips back towards your heels and reach your arms forward. If you need to have your hands a little bit wider than shoulder distance here, you are more than welcome to do so. And use props, use a prop, a block, or a towel underneath your forehead if you need some support there. Now start to inch your fingertips far forward as far as you can, so much that your hands and your forearms come off of the ground. And then exhale, walk your hands off to the right side of your mat, maybe even off of your mat. Stack your left hand on top of your right hand and press through your hands to gently send your hips a little bit closer to your left heel. Maybe arcing through your left rib cage a little bit to get into your side body. On your next inhale, walk your hands back to center, inch your fingers a little bit more forward. And then exhale, walk your hands to the left. Right hand can stack on top, hips pressing over towards your right heel. On your next inhale, walk your hands back to center. Exhale once you're there. And then slowly rise up to tabletop pose, hands and knees. Hands underneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips. Spread your fingers wide across the floor. On your next inhale, drop your belly, heart shines to the front of the room for cow. And then exhale, round through your back, chin to your chest for cats. Inhale, belly drops, gaze forward, tailbone lifts, shoulders back. Exhale, round all the way through, head and tailbone drop. Inhale, cow, mini back bend. Exhale, round through for cat. Inhale, find a neutral spine. And then exhale, step your right foot to the front of your mat for low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Feel free to have blocks underneath your hands that frame your front foot. If you don't have blocks, that's perfectly okay. Just make sure that your front knee stacks directly over your front heel, not going past your toes. And walk your back knee a couple of inches and lengthen your tailbone down. Another option is to interlace your fingers over your front thigh or knee and rise up. And we'll stay here for just a couple of breaths. Think drawing your right hip back and allowing your left hip to draw forward with your tailbone lengthening down. Take another inhale here. And then exhale, walk your hands or your blocks back a couple of inches and send your hips back as you straighten out your front leg for half splits Ardha Hanumanasana. Flex your right foot and start to windshield wiper your right foot from left to right. And just feel the sensation along your hamstrings here, noticing how each time your toes go back and forth, it affects where you feel, which hamstring you actually feel the sensation in most. And whichever hamstring of the 3, we have 3 hamstrings, do you feel the most sensation, just go ahead and let your toes land there and just stay for another breath. On your next inhale, lengthen your spine, look forward. And then exhale, bend into your right knee. Walk your blocks back up to the front. Stay here. Or inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, low crescent Anjane. Exhale, hands down to the floor, step back to tabletop pose, move your blocks off to the side, hands on the floor, and then take 3 rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, dropping your belly, heart shining your heart forward, and exhale, rounding through. 2 more. Last one. After your cow on your inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, step your left foot forward, setting up for your low lunge. Hands on the floor, hands on blocks, or hands over your front thigh and rise up. Now, make sure that your left hip is drawing back. I like to take my left thumb, and place it on the crease of my left hip and physically draw it back so that way I know I'm squaring through my hips. And think tailbone down. You'll feel a little bit of engagement in your right glute, your back glute. On your next exhale, walk your hands or your blocks back, straighten out your front legs, send your hips back, Ardha Hanumanasana. And once more, with your left foot flexed, just windshield wiper your toes from left to right and just notice the sensation in your hamstrings. And whichever of the 3 hamstrings that you feel the most sensation, just go ahead and let your toes land to that side and just stay for another breath or 2. Next, inhale, lengthen your spine, look forward. Exhale, rebend into your front knee, hands or blocks walk back forward. Stay here, or inhale, reach your arms up, low crescent Anjane. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back, tabletop pose, and move through 3 rounds of cat-cow. After your 3rd round of cat and cow, either make your way into wide-legged child's pose, or you can send your hips up and back for a downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Body is in an upside down V shape, feet hips distance, hands shoulder distance. And if you're in down dog, just feel free to take whatever movement feels good. You can pedal through your heels, bicycle through your legs, twist your hips around. And if you're in child's pose, just continue to breathe and release and relax through your hips with each exhale that you take. Wherever you are, make your way to tabletop pose, hands and knees. From tabletop, extend your right leg long behind you as you inhale. And then as you exhale, bend your right knee, take it out to the side and then down towards the floor and start to create big circles with your right knee, just like we did when we were on our back. Whichever direction you circled, go the opposite direction. On your next inhale, extend your right leg long behind you, look forward. Exhale, draw your knee to your chest, round through your back for a crunch. Inhale, extend your right leg back. Exhale, knee to your chest. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale, knee to your chest. Pause for a breath in. On your breath out, step your right foot to the edge of your mat. Let your right foot angle out to the side a little bit. Hands on the inside, either on the blocks or the floor. Left knee walks back a couple of inches. Lengthen your tailbone down. With your right leg, think about your right inner thigh just gently pressing in toward your right arm or shoulder. Take another breath in. Walk your hands or blocks about a couple of inches back, and then we're going to send our hips back for half splits, but this time our right foot stays at the edge of our mat, so it's a little variation. On your next inhale, send your hips back to lizard forward and reach your right arm up to the sky for a twist. Exhale, hands back down, and then send your hips back, half splits variation. Inhale forward to lizard, add your twist, right arm up. Exhale, hands down, hips back, front leg straightens. One more, inhale, lizard twist. Exhale, back to your half splits. Hold here, pause. With your left shin, pivot your left shin off to the right a little bit. Right hand stays on the floor or a block. Start to peel your left arm up to the sky, Parigasana gate pose. Take another breath in. And then on your exhale, both hands down. Make your way to lizard pose, hips forward as you inhale. Exhale back to tabletop pose. Very slowly start to make your way onto your belly. Once you're on your belly, slide your elbows forward so they stack underneath your shoulders for Sphinx pose. Forearms are parallel here. And think shoulders back and lift away from your shoulders to shine your heart forward and broaden your collarbones. With your lower body, think pressing the pinky edges of your feet down towards the floor to spin your inner thighs up and lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. We'll stay here for a couple more breaths. And if you feel a little bit of discomfort in your lower back, then draw your navel to your spine. That, along with lengthening your tailbone down, will take any unnecessary pressure away from your lumbar curve. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, lower down onto your belly. Slide your hands by your rib cage, elbows close in. On your next inhale, press through your hands and the tops of your feet up for cobra. Exhale, bow your chest down. Inhale, lift your heart, cobra pose. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, bow. Tuck your toes. Press up to tabletop as you inhale. Exhale once you're there. On your next inhale, send your left leg back long behind you. And then bend your left knee and then start to make circles with your left knee. And then go the opposite direction in your circle. Next inhale, send your left leg long behind you. Look forward. Exhale, knee to your chest for that crunch. Inhale, send it back. 2 more. Exhale, knee to your chest. Last one. Inhale, send your left leg back. Exhale, knee to your chest. Pause for a breath in. Exhale, step your left foot to the outside edge of your mat. Left foot angles out to the side, lizard pose. Again, hands can be on blocks or the floor. Left knee or right knee walks back a couple of inches. Lengthen your tailbone down and draw your left inner thigh in towards your left arm. That action is going to be very important for our yogi squat later on. And in fact, you can think of lizard pose as a half yogi squat. And take another breath in. And then as you exhale, send your hips back, straighten out your front leg for that half splits variation. Left foot stays at the edge of your mat with your left toes pointing up. Inhale, lizard pose. Add the twist, reach your left arm up. Exhale, hands down, send your hips back, half splits variation. Inhale, lizard with a twist. Exhale, half splits. Inhale, one more lizard, twist, left arm reaches up. Exhale to your half splits. From half splits, pivot your right shin off to the left a little bit. Left hand stays on the floor. Reach your right arm up for Parigasana gate pose. Try pressing through the big toe edge of your left foot forward as if it was on the floor to lengthen through your left inner thigh. Both hands down. Send your hips forward for lizard. And then exhale, step it back, tabletop pose. When you're ready, send your hips up and back for downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. From downward facing dog, go ahead and walk your feet to the edges of your mat. Once your feet are at the edges of your mat, lift your heels, take a big bend in your knees, and as you press away from the floor with your hands, tip your tailbone and send your hips higher to the sky, creating length in your side bodies and your back. Next inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk your feet up to meet your hands at the front of your mat at forward fold. Have your feet at the edges of your mat with your toes angling out to the sides. And just take a moment here, take a big bend in your knees, grab opposite elbows, let your head hang heavy, releasing through your spine. Now, if you have blocks, go ahead and grab those. And if you don't have blocks, you can use 2 water bottles or a stack of books at the same height. With your hands on whatever you have supporting you, create a flat back, and then exhale, bend your knees and sit halfway down, but keep the flat back. Inhale, straighten out your legs. Exhale, squat halfway down. Inhale, straighten out your legs, keeping the flat back. Exhale, squat, thighs parallel to the floor. Inhale, straighten out your legs. And exhale, soften your spine and fold. Heel toe your feet to hips distance apart. Rise up with the inhale, reaching your arms up to the sky. And exhale, hands to your heart, Samasthiti. Equal standing in your feet in Tadasana mountain pose. Press through the big toe, little toe mounds, and inner and outer heels of your feet. Stand up nice and tall. Next inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive down, forward folds. Inhale, halfway up, create a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky, breathe in. Exhale, hands to your heart. 2 more half sun salutations. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, swan dive, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, big reach up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, Urdhva, reach up. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Fold as you exhale. Inhale, reach up to the sky, breath in. Exhale, hands to your heart. With your hands at your hips, step your left foot to the very back of your mat, finding Warrior 2. Left foot in a 45-degree angle from the back of your mat, right foot faces forward. And as you bend into your right knee, press strong through the pinky edge of your back foot. And think pelvis tucking under your shoulders. So think tailbone lengthening down and your hip bones pointing up towards your face. Take your arms out to a T. On your next inhale, reach your arms up, straighten out your front leg. Exhale, rebend into your front knee, Warrior 2. Make sure your front knee is going towards the pinky edge of your foot. Inhale, arms reach up, straighten out your front leg. Exhale into Warrior 2. Inhale, arms reach up, front leg straight. Exhale, Warrior 2. Inhale, arms reach up, front leg straight, and then exhale, lean back as you let your left hand fall behind you. Right arm reaches up and over. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down very slowly into triangle. Right hand finds your shin or a block or that water bottle if you didn't have a block or that stack of books. Press strong through the pinky edge of your left foot and think about your left hip rotating outward as you reach your left hand up to the sky. And using the strength of your legs, inhale, rise up. And then exhale, hands to your hips. Turn both sets of toes to the long edge of your mat. Pinky edges parallel. Exhale, dive down for wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Press strong through the pinky edges of your feet and tip your tailbone up to lengthen through your hamstrings. And you can either stay folded forward and just release through your spine, or you can take a couple of breaths of free movement with your legs or your spine. Just whatever feels good here. On your next inhale, create a flat back, halfway lift. And then exhale, press through your feet to rise up to standing. Turn your left foot now to face the back of your mat. Right foot stays the same. And bend into your left knee, arms to a T, Warrior 2. Again, think pressing through the pinky edge of your right foot and letting your tailbone lengthen down and your hip bones, let them point up towards your face. On your next inhale, reach your arms up to the sky and straighten out your front leg. And then exhale, rebend into your left knee, warrior two, arms to a T. Inhale, front leg straight, arms up. Exhale, rebend, warrior two. Inhale, arms reach up, front leg straight. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten everything out. And then exhale, right hand falls towards your right leg. Reach your left arm up and over to the back. And then exhale, find triangle pose on this side. Left hand finds some kind of support, whether it's your shin or a block or those stack of books or water bottle. Press strong through your right foot and let your outer right hip roll back to open through that hip. On your next breath in, slowly rise up, pressing through your feet. Hands to your hips, and then turn to face the original front of your mat and step forward. From mountain pose, inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Now walk your feet to mat distance apart. Let your toes turn out and angle out. Take your hands to your blocks or whatever you have for blocks. Create that flat back as you inhale. And then exhale like we did before. Bend your knees, sit halfway down. Inhale, straighten out your legs. Exhale, squat halfway. You keep the flat back, your thighs parallel to the floor. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, sit halfway. One more. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, sit halfway. And then from here, we will go into full yogi squat. So a couple of things. You can use your props, whatever you have, and place them underneath your hips and stack them as high as you need. Even if you need to grab cushions or pillows to stack, that's also a great option as well. Now, make sure that you're not rounding through your back here. You want to try and keep a flat or lengthened back. So you can keep your fingertips on the floor and your arms straight with your heart shining forward, or you can take your hands to prayer with your elbows on the insides of your knees. What you want to do here is you want to press your elbows into your knees and then press your knees back into your elbows to find more opening in your inner thighs. We'll stay here for just a couple more breaths. I'm going ahead and removing the blocks from underneath me, but feel free to keep your props underneath your hips. And if your heels don't touch the floor, know that that's perfectly okay. They don't have to touch. In fact, you can even walk your feet out a little bit wider until they touch, or you can take a rolled up blanket underneath your heels. Now, if you are ready to get out of it, just go ahead and come down onto your hips and windshield wiper your knees from left to right. Use your hands. And if you would like to stay a little bit longer, you are more than welcome to hit the pause button from here and stay for a few more breaths. Go ahead and extend your legs in front of you. Sit up nice and tall. And I'm going to go ahead and use a blanket underneath my hips. You can also use pillows if you have them. And you can also use rolled up blanket underneath your knees as well. Take a soft bend in your knees, flex your feet, inhale, reach up, and then exhale, hinge from your waist and fold over your legs. Inhale to find length through your back. And then exhale, softly allow your upper back to softly round forward. You can grab your feet or you can grab anywhere along your legs. And we will stay here just for a few breaths. Take another breath here. See if you can go a little bit deeper on your exhale. And then inhale, lengthen your spine, look forward. And then slowly rise up. Give your legs a little bit of a shimmy, a little shake. And then draw your right knee into your chest. Step your right foot to the outside of your left thigh. And then with your right hand behind you on the floor, twist to the right, hugging your right knee in with your left arm. Now try not to crank yourself into this twist. Rather use your breath. So inhale, find length of your spine. And then exhale, soften into the twist, hugging your right knee in a little bit closer. Next inhale, untwist. And then exhale, switch legs, drawing your left knee into your chest. Left foot steps to the outside of your right thigh. And then left hand behind you as you twist to the left. Inhale for length. And exhale to soften. See if with this next breath, you can twist just a little bit deeper with the exhale. On your next inhale, untwist. Then extend your legs forward, give them another shimmy and shake. And then we will slowly make our way down onto our backs. Have any props nearby that you would like for Shavasana. Once you're on your back, bend your knees so your feet are flat on the floor, knees pointing up to the sky. And scoot your feet, heel toe your feet to the edges of your mat, taking your feet wider than your hips. Once you are there, take your arms out to a T. With your arms out to a T, scoot just your hips. So lift your hips and then scoot them over to the left. And then once you've done that, you will let your knees drop to the right, coming into a version of spinal twist. This one getting a little bit into our outer left thigh. Now, your arms stay in a T. You can look towards your left hand if it's okay for your neck. But if you'd like a little bit more, you can stack your right foot over your left knee or thigh. Just breathe here. If you had your right foot crossed over your left leg, go ahead and uncross it. Take your knees back to center. Scoot your hips, pick them up and scoot them over to the right before you let your knees drop to the left. You can look towards your right hand if it's okay for your neck, and if you want more, you can stack your left foot on top of your right knee or thigh. And continue to breathe here. If you have the cross of your left foot over your right leg, uncross it. Draw your knees back to center. And then draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself one last final hug here, gently rocking from left to right. If there's any other finishing poses that you would like to do, feel free to hit the pause button and freestyle it up before you make your way to Shavasana. Otherwise, we will head to our final pose of ease and stillness. Now, I'm taking the blanket that I had underneath my head and I'm doing the same thing, making a little roll at the end to support my neck. And I will also take my blocks and I will place them underneath my thighs with my legs extended forward. So this is how I'm taking Shavasana. If you don't have any of these props, then you can feel free to use whatever you have to support your body. I like a blanket underneath my knees, a blanket underneath my heels, pillows underneath my thighs, or even a long, sturdy pillow or cushion underneath my entire back for a little back bend. And when you have settled into your final space, just let your entire body relax and just release any effort out through your breath. Let your breath be effortless. If you would like to stay a little bit longer, take an extended Shavasana, you are more than welcome to hit the pause button and stay as long as you would like. But if you're ready to move on, as you start to take some deeper breaths in, start to take some gentle movement, wiggle your fingers and toes, ankles and wrists, move your head from left to right. And reach your arms back, reach your toes forward, a full body stretch. Exhale, draw your knees into your chest and roll to the right side of your body, taking pressure away from your heart, promoting relaxation within. When you are ready, use your top hand to press yourself up and find a seat facing the front of your room. Sit up nice and tall, taking this last few moments to take in the nutrients of your practice. Draw your hands to your heart center. Close your eyes, drop your chin to your chest, a sign of gratitude for yourself for giving yourself this time today. Take a big breath in through your nose. Sigh it out. One more breath, biggest one of the day. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Bow your chin to your chest once more, honoring our teachers, the strength, knowledge, and awareness that we gain from this practice. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. The sun within me salutes the sun within you. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this video. If you are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you want more free yoga classes from me. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, share it with a friend, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day.